back to Modern Homestead Alaska. Today we are going to be dealing with the Pantry series and what is level 1 in our house, in our pantry. And for me, that is seasonings and spices. I'm going to walk you through Azure from beginning to end of how I get Azure orders and what I do once I do get those orders. And then we are going to kind of talk about, with these uncertain times, we began our pantry, or at least we began doing our pantry differently in 2020 in preparation of moving to the homestead, making our food from scratch and shortening that distance between the supplies and our table. So if that is something you're interested in how we got here and this pantry series, then stick around for a little bit. Let's get into level 1, which is seasoning and spices. Welcome to our blog. If you're new around here, we're the Milnes family. We just moved to Alaska in July. We're building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska. That's my awesome husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom. And our second son, Caleb, decided to come with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our 2 dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto. All right, the first thing we're gonna jump right into is Azure, and I'm gonna show you their website right now. And when I do, it's gonna walk you through completely what you would need to do if you're brand new to Azure. If you are already in old school, been doing Azure for a while, you just wanna know what I got and how I do my stockpile, then skip ahead this part to where I actually get my Azure order. Okay, everyone, this is Azure's home page. If you have never gone to their website, I want to show you a couple of things that I did in the very beginning when I started this pantry, and then what I am doing today to restock my pantry. So really quick, you look at the right-hand corner, it gives my name, my pickup location, how long I have to place this order, which is only 3 hours and 42 minutes. And my pickup date. I do want to show you, it says pickup at. If I click on that, it goes here, and I am right now shopping for the Wednesday, February 16th. I, however, could choose one of these other dates listed below and place my order for that. Say I was going on vacation, or I order things every quarter. I can go to that date and select it and place my order for that date, have that ready to go. So what I want to show you though is how I shopped originally. So I went to shop the first time I came. I decided food. I just wanted to see what they had, so I said all food. And then I went through and kind of looked in each and every one of these different subsections of food, and realized that Azure has way more to offer than I had ever imagined. I thought it would just be some bulk dried things, and it is not. They have the meats and the canned goods. They have frozen goods. They have just anything that you can imagine that you could get from the grocery store, you can have shipped with Azure. Cleaning products, baby products, vitamins, oils, you name it. But right now, this month, what we are working on for our working pantry is spices and seasonings. So we're going to click on that. Once I did this, I built a master list of seasonings and spices that I use regularly and that are in a lot of recipes. Another way that you could find your seasoning and spices is go to this search products. I saw cinnamon, so let's just click cinnamon. And when you do with Azure, it'll start breaking it down, but it'll show you anything. You can even load more that has cinnamon. So we have everything from sprays to oils to the actual cinnamon itself. Now, you see this one in the top right box. It says 1 in cart. So I actually have this cinnamon in my shopping cart right now, and it is the 3 times 1 pound. So now that we've done our shopping, we've chosen our spices, let's go to our cart. So that box in the right-hand corner says my cart. I have 36 items. What's gonna pop up is this. So I haven't placed my order, so I haven't gone all the way through the checkout process, so I can change anything now. What is also good with Azure is if I did click the go to checkout, go through the whole process, and I decide I wanted to change something, if it has not shipped, I can continue to change that cart if I desire to do so. So we see my list of everything, but I did want to point out here, it says this big yellow line, this item is out of stock and unlikely to ship. This is the dill weed. What is going to happen is I'm going to leave that in my cart. They will not charge me for it because it will not ship, but it will roll over and I am able to continue requesting the dill weed until it actually ships. This has happened with some other items for me, and eventually I do get those items and I just leave them in my cart so that I know that that is something I haven't gotten yet and I still would like it. There's a couple of things in here that we're just out of and I need to go ahead and grab them because we use them regularly, and that is these 2 things of honey. But other than that, it's all seasonings and spices. And you will see I have everything from 4 ounces to 1 pound to 3 times 1 pound on some of the seasonings and spices. And when I get this Azure order, I am going to show you what I do with them. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you today on the Azure site is this Share Azure. So you receive a $25 credit for sharing Azure. And then when your friends or family or someone goes in and they log in for the very first time at azurestandard.com/start and they share my personal code, I get a $25 credit. So what I'm asking is, if this is your first time with Azure and you have never placed an order and I am kind of walking you through it and been an inspiration that you should try it, would you go ahead and use that code Jessica Milnes1, and that would sure help my family out. And then if you love Azure and you share Azure, as soon as you place your first order, you're going to be given your own code that you can share with your friends and family and also get $25 credit for referring a friend or family member. So if this is your first time, use that code Jessica Milnes1. Thank you. Hey, so best laid intentions of I was going to take you along and show you the cute little drive as we go to pick up Azure, but it is snowing so bad. We've had things canceled again for the 4th or 5th day in a row with school. This is literally what has happened just in the drive here. I am only recording at a red light, so you're not gonna get the cool video all the way there, but I'll get my Azure picked up and then we'll unbox together. Okay, when you get your Azure order home, it's gonna look like this. So these are just spices, so mine is in a box. You may have 5-gallon buckets of peanut butter or honey or something like that. You may have the big 50-pound bags. Azure comes in all shapes and sizes depending on what you order, but they kind of try to package it a little bit in some boxes. So for that huge order that I showed you that is spices and honey, it's all in these boxes. So we're gonna open these boxes now. All right, let's open these boxes. So when you're checking your stuff at your pickup or drop off, it will have your name and then it has your pickup location. It doesn't have your personal address on it. So pay attention to that. And then it says repack box number 2. So we're opening box number 2. Let's see what we have. Lemon peel. This is the ground paprika. So what we're gonna find is 3 1-pound bags. And I am just gonna sort through this. Chili powder, hot. white pepper, orange peel, can go by the lemon, oregano. This is that mushroom soup blend. That's another one that I've never tried. Garlic powder, parsley, and the beef broth. Basil. This is Italian seasoning mix, rosemary, onion, and a bit of garlic, more Italian, cumin, my honey, regular chili powder, more cumin, cinnamon, sage, and turmeric. And then in every Azure order, you get the magazine to next month's or March's 2022, because we're in February. And there will be coupons and sales and all of that in there. And then let's get to this third and final box. Using that the wrong way. Okay. Ooh. Fun. Chili pepper. Ooh, cardamom, ginger, mustard, lemon sticks. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mom.
Coriander, dill, celery, black pepper.
Where's this money from?
Oh, I'm making my video. Marjoram. Okay, somehow I got double ginger. That could have been on me. We'll check back and see. Otherwise, we let Azure know that we got 3 times 1 pound twice. So, cilantro and more hot chili powder. Alright. This is my Azure haul of just spices. My son just brought in the vacuum as I'm trying to clean, right? This is what happens to try to make a YouTube video. Okay, I'm gonna organize this and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so here are all of those spices I just showed you that we opened from Azure. And in my pantry, there is a 2-step system. So we have half-gallon jars that are kept in the overflow pantry. We are going to fill these today and label them. And then these are my daily spices. So these are things that I use regularly, and they are quart-sized jars. So everything from the half-gallon jar gets moved into the quarts, and then we refill the half-gallon jars, and that way we have spices in both locations, the back stock and then the daily use one. So my beautiful friend and neighbor made labels for all these jars, so we are gonna fill these jars and we are going to label all of them today. So here we go. Okay, so here's an example. I have this much cumin left in my half gallon. And then that is what is in this quart, and then this quart goes right over there. And so, I just use the funnel. I refill these jars, and this cumin I have refilled twice since we've been in the house. So we use a ton of it. So I refill the quart from the gallon, or half gallon, sorry. That's all that's in there. And then my back stock is this great big one. We open the brand new. Now my spices are less than a year old. If it's something I don't use very often, I wash out the jar, but this has literally only had cumin in it. And I will go through this really fast. If you were gonna be storing this longer than a few months, 6 months, a year, something like that, you should store it in a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber and seal that up, and that'll help spices last. But spices are one thing that doesn't last super long. So, excuse me. Let's use sage as an example. Sage is something I'm going to use very little of over the next year. So I have 4 ounces of it, and that is all I'm going to stock for the whole year. But cumin, I am going to probably use 3 to 6 pounds of cumin over the next year. So I'm going to stockpile a half gallon and a quart. Between the two, depending on the spice, because some spices, like parsley or thyme or rosemary, for example, a 1 pound of those is much more quantity than it is weight. So I might store less of that. But in general, a bulk spice like cumin or garlic powder, paprika, any of those things, 2 pounds fit in the half gallon and 1 pound fits in the quart. In case you're going to do something similar, that will give you an idea of what you would need to order. And as always, only order the spices you actually use in your home. Start out. Okay, the point I was making is I know how much of these spices I'm gonna use. Like I said, I only got the 4 ounces of sage because I'm not going to use that much over the next year. On the cumin, I know what I'm going to use. If you're new to this, here's my suggestion. Start with a quart or a pint or something small. Mark a date on it. You should be doing this anyway. Even if you don't move your spices into something like this, you get them from the store and you're leaving them, mark the date that you open that spice in, and then take note of how long it took you to go through that spice jar. That is how I started. I didn't start out with half gallons because they look pretty. I moved to the half gallons because I was using so much of these spices, making everything from scratch. I use this amount of product in the year. So that is my suggestion. Make dates, figure out how much you're using, and then only buy what you're using. Save your family a dime. Okay, how super cute are these labels that Amanda made for me? I'm gonna show you what we're doing. They're vinyl, and then these are not permanent. These can be peeled off. If I change the jar out, something happens, I don't like it, whatever, these labels can actually come off and without ruining the jar. And Everything Bagel happens to be one that we have a half gallon and we have a quart of, so we have a double label on this guy. And what you do is you take this vinyl label that she has cut and she's already cleaned. You get it all stuck on this contact paper. And then that's the Everything Bagel. We make sure our jar is nice and clean. peel off the contact paper. You throw this white part away. And then right in the center, and then you smush it on with this card. So that's what you've been seeing me do. And then when you pull the contact paper, if you've got a good connection, you can reuse the contact paper, but just kind of push it on. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that. How pretty will that be in the whole kitchen? I'm so excited. Okay, my friend and I worked on this for 4 hours. I am tired, so I'm gonna end it for tonight. We still have all of this left to deal with tomorrow, but oh my gosh, they're so cute. Look at that. So this is what I was telling you, and we're gonna finish it. Ignore everything else going on. So paprika, some black pepper. So these are labels I made, but you can't see them in the pantry or on the shelves. But they're coming out so cute. I can't wait to finish and show you how everything ends up. I will pick up where I leave off tonight. See you tomorrow. As you can see, it is a ton of work to get to this point, the point where I'm just gonna put these seasonings and spices either in our longer term pantry, the 1/2 gallons, or I'm gonna put them on the shelves here in the kitchen. But it is totally worth it, and I'm gonna cover in the very end why I think this is level 1. So stay with us for just a second. But first I'm gonna explain to you how I organize my kitchen, and this is just a suggestion. Over there, because I mostly cook off the wood cook stove, in that section I put the seasonings and spices that I use almost daily. The easiest thing for me to grab, season up our food, and cook from over there, that is what belongs there. Things that might take a kind of a back seat, but they're still used weekly or monthly, they go here. Anything that I'm not using on a monthly basis needs to go in the long-term pantry, not be out taking up space in the cabinet, visual space, and cluttering up my kitchen. So that is how I organize it. And then over here is my baking station. We'll cover baking in a later video, but right now I'm gonna put away all of these seasons and spices and then tell you why it's level 1 and the most important thing that I think you should start with when beginning a pantry or homesteading or prepping or any of those sort of things. Why is this level 1? Everything that I have left, these are just 1/2 gallon jars, and then some things that I don't mind going to the pantry to grab out because I don't use them as frequently. So turmeric, even though I cook with it or can with it quite a bit, I don't use very much of it. So this is all the turmeric I have. I don't have a backup of a 1/2 gallon of it. So that's it. That's the max that I keep on hand, along with some other things. So these are gonna go in my pantry. If you're interested in how my pantry has turned out, I'm going to be posting a video of that really shortly. It's been recorded, I just haven't posted it yet. So now would be a good time to subscribe ring the bell for notifications, and then give us a thumbs up or comment. All of those things help the channel grow, and then you're in the know when I post new videos. Thank you to those of you that have stayed all the way to the end. I know it's been a lengthy video. It's really important though, and I promised you that I would explain to you why seasoning and spices are level 1 in my pantry. And the reason is quite simple. Everyone has already told you, if you follow along at all of what's going on in the news and how to start a pantry, to buy, purchase, and store the most basic supplies like flour and sugar and salt and so on. Well, once you get those ingredients, those basic ingredients, they're almost flavorless. So the thing that makes the food edible and makes it enjoyable is the seasonings and spices. They're also the things that change it up. Like, I don't buy pre-made pancake mix because pre-made pancake mix is never going to become a loaf of bread. But flour and sugar and baking powder and the basic supplies, I can use a million different ways to make different products for my family and not just be bound to a biscuit mix or a pancake mix. Or I have rice that's pre-seasoned. It's only going to be that kind of rice. Whereas I can stock up on basic rice and the seasonings and spices, and I can make 100 different kinds of rice with different flavorings. So that is why this is so important. It is so overlooked and is just kind of left to the wayside. I watch a lot of like pantry videos where they just put them in cute little jars as if that's going to last you any amount of time. If you're cooking from scratch, that is not going to last you very long. So I started, like I said earlier in the video, by looking at what we use, looking at what we wanted to start making from scratch. So say sausage, making that from scratch requires several seasonings and spices and salts and different agents to put in the ground pork or beef or whatever it is that you can get your hands on and make your own sausage. Well, I started collecting the ingredients for sausage or for bacon or anything that I wanted to make for our family. So that is why we started with this level. I've paid so much attention to it. They're not in cute little tiny jars that just look really beautiful on the shelf. They're in massive quantities because this is what we're going to go through for the next year. So I encourage you, go to your pantry, write dates on all of your spices, start making things from scratch, figuring out how much you need, ordering in bulk from Azure. Sorry, my video keeps cutting off and shutting off on me. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you want to see what my pantry looks like that holds all of these half-gallon jars, it is beautiful exposed shelves that my sons and I built. And then the second half of the pantry is being built this week by my husband. And it is a beautiful room and I can't wait to show it to you. So subscribe so you get to see what that is. We'll see you in the next video.